Hey Gemini, thanks for dropping in with me today. We are here on this new moon, the ring of fire, the initiatory gateway that brings the opportunity to step through that door into a new life, into a new way of seeing yourself moving forward. And we are going to be dropping in for your Pluto in Capricorn transit read. We got Pluto in Capricorn until November 19th. It's some testy territory. It will present some challenges for us. Those challenges are meant to take us to the next level in our lives if we're able to rise to that challenge. I think that you got what it takes. I got a lot of kind of still in it, still in it energy when I tapped into your collective's energy before dropping in here for this read. We're going to look at some different areas here of this challenge and how it can be moved through with the most empowerment, strength, endurance, and just rewards at the end of it all. Okay, so let's dive in. First, we're going to look at what challenge is Pluto in Capricorn issuing to you, Gemini. This is for any significant Gemini placement. If you happen to have a prominent placement in the third house, or if you are a Sagittarius rising, that makes you a Gemini descendant. But hey, we do have Jupiter in Gemini. That's another significant transit, and that's going down until next summer. So I really feel like a lot of the collective can benefit from these messages, just in getting some guidance about how to best move into expansion. Okay, so let's see, what is this challenge that Pluto in Capricorn is issuing to Gemini? What is this challenge that Pluto in Capricorn is issuing to Gemini? What challenge is Pluto in Capricorn issuing to Gemini? As I was shuffling, I saw a flash of the infinity card. Okay, so there is something here that has been an ongoing process, I feel, for you. You've been digesting something for a long time, but I feel like you're coming to the end of that cycle. There's some skin you're shedding here. There's something you're transforming so you can step into a new potentiality. It's something that you've been considering long and hard. And this future you're stepping into speaks very strongly of the transformational process you've been through. It's going to be evident. Your growth will be very evident in the way your material reality shapes around you. I think there's going to be something that's undeniable for people here. Ooh, I like this. Okay, so for you, the challenge is just to take the head out of the sand, look at things dead on, believe in your ability to have the power and the strength to carry yourself forward and to move out of that more sort of fear-based space where maybe you feel a little trepidation around moving forward in a particular direction because it's kind of unknown. This might be wanting to find a sense of home. Where is my home? Where do I belong? And kind of hitting the road to figure that out. Sometimes we search for home outside when what we're really lacking is that feeling of belonging within. Okay, so there might be something that's sort of mirroring there for you that you're working through here. There might be stuff you're sorting through that's a little complicated for you with family dynamics, friendships, communities. What do you feel a part of? Maybe you're trying to figure that out. Maybe you feel a little bit apart from everybody else in a certain way where you used to find resonance, but now that resonance is kind of lacking for you and you feel like you got to go out and find it. There's something about recognizing that you weren't having resonance anymore that maybe put you in a little bit of a fear space, okay? Made you feel like, oh no, here we go again. I got a map, but I'm just going to have to kind of like close my eyes and, sort of circle my finger around and just let it land to tell me where I go next, because there's a sense of not really feeling like one knows where they're going, I have to say. And this might have been something that got amplified. Will get amplified today, I have to say. May have just recently gotten amplified for you. We did have new moon in Libra, that ring of fire hit. just a few hours ago. Okay, so there's something percolating here. There's something bubbling to the surface here for you. It will become more clear as we get deeper into October. I feel that, okay? There's some kind of alignment coming in for you in October. It's not something that just like clicks in your head, but it's something that lines up for you in reality, okay? This is some kind of opportunity coming through for you that at least gives you a sense of where the next stop is. That's what it feels like, okay? So I do feel like you're about to go on a bit of an adventure, and there's something about just being along for the ride here, okay? Trust where you're going. You got the power you need to get there. You're going to find the pace picking up too, but there's a need to face this squarely. And there's something about the way you're moving forward is really unusual, or it's really unexpected. 555 on the clock, okay? So I do feel there's like that wild card element in play here for you. It's just awakening the adventurous spirit in you, taking a risk to head into the unknown because you find that you don't have resonance where you are. Okay, this is part of your challenge. All right, give us more details for Gemini. What is this challenge that Pluto in Capricorn is issuing Gemini? You're being put in a situation where you have to really decide where your loyalty lies. Again, this is a bit of a tower moment for you. Yep. Wow. Okay. Pretty powerful way to open up here. Okay. So I do see that there's going to be an offer put on the table for you. And this may be something that you feel could really help you or benefit you at this time. And at the same time, in order for you to accept this offer, you have to put yourself in a compromising position. And I believe what the compromising position is that in some way it betrays what you know is true for you in your soul. And so you're going to have to decide if you're going to take this offer or if you're going to trust your path of purpose. Now, you know that if you don't take this offer, it's going to invite change into your life and instability. But if you take this opportunity that's being put in your hand, it may be something that gives you some kind of tangible asset. It might give you some kind of quick money. It might give you some kind of entry into certain rooms, access to certain people who maybe can move you forward quickly. But in some way, it doesn't put you in the position of power here. Do you see? You become kind of like a sitting pigeon in the situation. Somebody else gets to pull the strings. So to put this in another like sort of framework, because it's how it wants to come through. Let's say that you're a musician, right? I mean, this is just so at the forefront in pop culture right now with everything that's going on, okay? The way people can have a dream, they want to see advancement, the way they sell their soul in the process on the way getting there. So this could be like a situation like that. You could be a musician, and you're getting approached by a major label, something like that. But in order to sign on to this, you know that you're compromising something that goes against the grain as far as what your soul's directive tells you. And so it's a big pivotal moment here where it's about really deciding what is your true path. And to you, what does that look like? What does really feeling fulfilled and feeling successful and feeling like you're at that point of arrival, what is it really about? Is it about what's been sold to you, this idea of what that looks like, even though it totally betrays what your soul tells you is intrinsically true, right, for you? Or do you kind of just, accept that maybe there's a different way? It might be an unconventional way. It might require you to go on a bit of a journey, Maybe that means like getting out there and hitting the road, and promoting yourself, getting out there, touring, doing the grunt work, and putting the miles putting the miles behind you as you go down this road and start to sort of build that for yourself without relying on somebody else to sort of take over what is very close to your spirit, you know? There's something here where I think you're going to recognize I can't compromise this. I can't compromise what is just enmeshed with my soul. It's like your soul's directive. I feel like you're being put in a position where you're being tested here. It's like, here's the easy way. But is it really easy? You got to look down the road. Like, if you accept this offer that's coming through, um, it might serve you in the moment. Down the road, how will that turn out though? I see you delivering a tower here. I have to be honest with you, okay? I think you're delivering this tower. And the reason why I say that is because right behind that, we have the breakup. And there's a group involved here, okay? So this is a group situation. This is not a situation where it just affects you, whatever tower you're bringing here. It brings a whole operation down in some cases. It brings a whole business down. Um, it maybe splits up a community. There's something that breaks up here. And I feel like you're ready to head in a direction that feels in harmony with you. And as soon as you do this, you notice that, hey, it's kind of smooth sailing here. I'm starting to have a new horizon come into view. Maybe you've been caught up in some mess that wasn't of your making for a long time now. You may have been rescuing people. You may have been, trying to figure out a way to pull something back together. And yet it's not really yours to clean up. I feel that. And maybe you're somebody who often, cleans things up. And you're like, you know what? No, I'm not doing it this time. You're going to have to figure that out for yourself. And it's interesting here because right behind that, we have the rats. And here's the change again. You got so much change energy coming in on your read, just opening up here. So things are moving here. But I almost see this as like you ghosting a situation. You're like making a break for it. You're like, look, I know that there's some rats here. I know I'm dealing with some people that don't really have my best interests at heart. And I know that, yeah, I could kind of take the easy fix, but in a way, I'm sort of selling my soul with this. That's what I feel it is. You can have an easy fix. It makes things easier for you. It makes your load lighter in the moment, but it's you selling your soul to take the easy fix. So this is seriously like one old scratch, it's like the devil comes and gives you everything you could want, on a silver platter. Here you go. And it feels like it solves everything instantaneously, but it's a gilded cage. And you're being asked. You're being asked to trust, okay? Big time. Because what you don't see here is that the opportunity is on offer for you to move into expansion here. But where you're going, you don't have the coordinates. And there's nobody you can radio. You're out of reach, okay? So it's kind of one of those things where you kind of have to get lost to get found in this situation. And you can't know where you're going. I heard destination unknown, missing persons. Like some people may feel like you're going to be MIA. It's because you're out there, trying to find yourself. It's almost like you feel like there's some part of yourself, like some part of your soul is out there somewhere in the world. And when you connect with a particular piece of land or when you connect with a certain person, that's when you feel like that missing piece comes in. It's coming in like this because with the spaceship card, this is also about drawing to you your soulmates and the people that are meant to build this new path forward with you step by step as you go into that known, bravely into the unknown. And the supermoon cycles are really important here, okay? And we've already moved through a couple of them in this particular initiatory gateway that we're entering into here. And you got one coming up that's of significance that will bring something into alignment in a very significant way. And that's going to be the 17th of October with the supermoon in Libra. It's the hunter's moon. I do feel like there's some action you're taking at that time. And it's gambling a bit. It feels like it's a risk because it requires that you step out of a safety zone. But you're going for it. You're going for it. And there may be a guide coming in here. There may be a guide that comes in here that is offering you clues. It's interesting. I feel like there's a guide coming in. It's almost like it's an aspect of yourself that's waking up. It's like your inner guide. It's like avatar energy. An avatar, yeah, like finding your coordinates. It's like, are you going to trust like some outside authority, or are you going to trust the avatar that is awakening within you to get aligned here? You may have been dealing with a very selfish person too. Somebody born in the year of the pig. Somebody born in the year of the pig in Chinese astrology could be connected to this situation here in some way. But I do feel like your happiness has been obscured from you. It's almost like it's cloaked right now, and yet you have the key to it within you. It's about you trusting your avatar. Okay, so your avatar is awakening in you. Let me do this cut of the deck here and see what we got. This is interesting energy. I like this. This is coming into alignment with that North Node energy. Do you see the hawk there? Hawk is associated with the sign of Aries when we are looking at Native American birth totem zodiac signs, okay? And with this energy here, it's reminding me of like the Empress energy, that Libra South Node transformed, okay, heading on up to the North Node, the Emperor, the Empress and Emperor coming into alignment, okay? This looks good. Look at that. And there's your happiness. It comes into view. It is manifesting for you. But there's something you need to understand about getting on the way there. And this is where bravery comes in, because you don't get to know every step that lies ahead of you. That's part of the journey. And the journey is what allows you to step into this empowerment of the new cycle. So I do feel like, you know, you are dealing with some solar flares in this situation. Maybe even, you know, you feeling really activated. You could be dealing with reactive people. There could be people who oppose your choices at this time. I also feel like you're the captain of this ship. You know, I see like I'm the captain now. You know, I'm going to say which way I go. You know, nobody's directing my course for me anymore. And I do feel like you're standing at the helm here, but you are sort of like out to sea, and you're trying to figure out like, well, what is the horizon I'm heading toward here? But you will be guided. All right. This is coming in, but it's sort of like, you know, take the leap. You take the leap, and then your avatar is instantly activated here. That's what I feel. Okay. So that's the challenge. Are you going to take the leap? Are you going to take your head out of the sand and acknowledge the truth of the situation? Acknowledge that as much as you may want to take an offer because it's convenient, it's safe, or so you've told yourself that, it's actually the opposite. But you told yourself it's safe because it's almost like you feel that there's been too much change, too much uncertainty. It makes you feel apprehensive about stepping into more unknown elements. But that's because you haven't activated the part inside of you that knows, that already knows where you're going, you know, but you will as soon as you take the risk. It's always like that, okay? Ace of Swords. This is the truth right there, okay? I do see that this truth is going to become so clear to you that to make a choice to accept something as, you know, an easy way out or accept someone's offer. You know, it's a compromising choice. And once you know that, you have a choice to either, you know, sell your soul or stand up for what you know is true and take action accordingly. And I do see you taking action accordingly. I do feel like there's some communication you're going to be issuing here too to make things very decisive. So there's no ambiguity. So nobody's left scratching their head going, well, wait a minute, what's going on here? Okay, so I do feel like there's important communication coming in here. And this is energy that's going to be with you, I feel, through the winter season. Okay, so there's a lot that you're sort of sorting through right now. You're making determinations at this point. And your key, you know, one of your keys for you to open that heavy door, that initiatory gateway that gets you into the new cycle, that gets you into the next chapter of your life, it does involve you acting on the truth. So that's, you know, that's sort of like the uncompromising element here. Otherwise, you're going to stay kind of where you've been. And I feel like that's sort of reaching a critical point for you. The lure of comfort is really starting to bump up against the discomfort and stress of sort of staying put in what is giving the comfort. It's ironic. It's like, it's almost starting to feel like, you know what, it's better to just face my fear head on and take the risk than to stay here, even though it's easier, even though I know I might be a little more challenged moving forward. I know I got to do something here. Okay. And I can't do that. Like, I do feel there's something that's being asked of you that's like, no, that's non-negotiable. Like, and you know it, you know, if you take this offer, you know, it's dirty. In some way it's dirty, and it makes you think lesser of yourself. And when that comes in, that's something to really pay attention to here. Two of Wands. Yeah. I think that you're choosing not to go forward in a certain direction that will only take you back into the dark wood. Like, I feel you've already done so much processing. You've already done so much integration that you're at this place where you very clearly see the way forward. You just, you know, kind of stay in the safety zone because it's what's more familiar. And there's a lot of question marks. What am I going to find? What am I going to find if I take the risk? 23 on the clock. 5 energy. Again, you're going to find a lot of gifts lining the way, you know, things that you couldn't obtain otherwise. It's always like that. But this is the part where, you know, you're bumping up against your resistance to change. That's what it is. And you're looking at it. You're looking at it. In fact, you're holding on to this activation of the power. One of the wands here, you're holding on to it. You're like, should I take this action? I know, you know, there's another way forward here, but I don't know what lies ahead. Should I take this action, or should I stay here in the dark wood? I don't think you're going to stay. It's certainly not your key to stay. It looks like it's your key to take that action, blaze a trail, you know. Trust the light within that will guide you forward. The answers will come. It's like, as soon as the challenge is faced, you gain the activation of the ability to, you know, take charge. And in doing that, all of the things you need, all the resources, material and otherwise, show up to facilitate it. This always comes onto the path, you know. Anytime we want to open up to greater possibility or we seek something more, it requires more of us as well. And that's never a comfortable process. So let's see what this is. What is the key that Gemini needs in order to step through this gateway of initiation that is being presented by this new moon, this ring of fire, and move into their empowerment? Okay. I like this, okay? It's like you're being asked to embrace more of that sense of magic and fantasy and wonder at a time when things may be feeling very real. And there may be a lot of people that are telling you that, you need to come back down to earth. Some people may think like you're way out there, or your ideas are unrealistic, or what inspires you is in some way unreasonable. And that's the magic of it. The fact that it's unreasonable. You know what I'm saying? When you feel on purpose with something, when you know that you need to take a certain action, even if it scares you, there's something that awakens within you that's unreasonable. It's like there's no way to argue with this. There's nothing to reason with here. This just is. This is something I know I need to do. It's like one of those things where you know what you know when you know it, and there's nothing to reason with. You know what I'm saying? So this is like some kind of calling or some kind of soul's urgings, this prompting, like, you got to do this. And I think you've been kind of denying it for a while. You've been denying it because it's been uncomfortable. But you're being asked to not fear the mystery, but instead to enter into it. Because once you enter into the mystery, it's like all your magics get activated. It's like first your avatar awakens, and then the manifestations and options. Suddenly you are in front of the buffet of life and you get to sample. And there's a lot that can come in here for you. There's certainly exploring home and what home looks like to you. And there's recovering, some kind of riches, some kind of richness in life. And maybe this will start to be redefined for you. There's certain details you come across that you weren't aware of before, small things, little things that make the biggest difference in the life you want to create for yourself. You do have protection along the way, coming in with that dragon energy there. And you're wise, okay? You will be given the sight to see your way through the dark. You will gain the fearlessness that will guide you forward further into the unknown, so you can gain those mysteries and that magic. And you'll get to find out what is at the other end of that rainbow, okay? What is at the other end of that rainbow after the storm has passed? You're going to discover what really is there. Snake medicine is about transformation. Snake medicine is about, shedding the skins that we've outgrown. We don't want to be held in tight anymore. And there's this desire to move forward into the new embodiment of yourself. But it's what you learn through the journey and what the mystery reveals to you. But this is so much like opening up on your path that gives you so many different options that you didn't have before. So you are being asked to be unrealistic. You are being asked to answer this soul's calling, to follow the soul's directive. You're being asked to enter the mystery. And yes, it does threaten the sense of security with the squirrel here. You had squirrel come up a couple times, okay? Came up on the spaceship too. There's like that security piece. It's what keeps you held in place. And yet here's the rabbit saying it's time to go. And look, I love this. The great horned owl there will provide protection too as you travel through the unknown. You got guardian energy around you. Rabbit does bring trickster medicine our way, okay? But it's a different kind of trickster. It's different than you would think. It's the ways that we trick ourselves by calling our fears to us, okay? I don't want to be stuck. I want to go toward what, will feel like this is where I belong, and yet I want security, so I stay put, and I blame outside circumstances. But in order to get to the thing I want, it requires that I abandon that security, that I recognize that security is an illusion, because anything can change at the drop of a dime, okay? This is trusting that you're going to be guided. It may be dark, but even in the darkness, we have the moon to illuminate the way forward. Right now, today, we have this eclipse energy coming in. But even when things are temporarily eclipsed, the light comes through again. So the light's still there, even when you can't see it. And you got the light inside of you as well that can help guide you on your way here. You're being asked, to take the path less traveled, maybe to go alone, okay? I think you're also heading through Scorpio territory. I had Scorpio energy really inserting itself as I was preparing the decks for you. And it did make me think of the 8th house and Pluto, Pluto is Scorpio's domain. Okay, so I do feel like you're in a time of great transformation here. And there's a lot of alchemy weaving through your life. This is really also being given the opportunity to understand how much power you really do hold in your hands, your ability to bring things into being. In fact, the fact that you haven't let yourself dream enough or be unreasonable enough is the thing that's holding all your magic hostage inside of you. I mean, you are the magician. You are that energy, okay? You can come through in that magician card quite often, I have to say, because what does a magician do but alchemize the two sides? Shadow, light, Gemini, you know both sides. You are the twins, okay? So if anybody can pull a rabbit out of the hat, it's you, Gemini. You can do this, okay? And you do have luck on your side. This is what you got to remember. Jupiter's in your sign. So the more that you can be harmonious with Jupiter, be jovial, be optimistic, don't fear, get excited, transform the energy in that way. Look at it differently. Stop thinking about what could go wrong. Instead, look at what could go right. These are big keys for you. What adventures could lie ahead instead of what dangers? There's a need to look at life as an adventure and as an opportunity for limitless possibility. Anytime you step into an area where you have no idea what's going to happen, that's where all the magic happens. I mean, if you got it all figured out, there's no magic. And I see somebody here who really needs some magic in their life. Like they need to see that there's more to life than what they've been dealing with here. Your energy's been too reined in here, and I do feel like you're breaking free of this. You're not going to stay in that position anymore, and it is your key. Okay, so cut the deck. Take it as a good sign. If people tell you you're being unreasonable, you're like, good, that means I'm on the right track. Look at this, boom, there it is. There's a Scorpio energy. Yeah, I see you allowing something to come to pass here. You're releasing something, you're letting it go. And I feel like there's a couple deceptions here, okay, that you are releasing. There's a couple deceptions here that you are letting go. These can be false beliefs you've held, or these can be false paths, garden paths, things that you felt like you were led down. And yeah, you may have been deceived, but maybe it was a trick you played on yourself so you could arrive at some understanding, some lesson you couldn't have gained otherwise here, right? I feel like there's somebody, they're kind of like in the wings here. I feel it feels like an outside energy. There's somebody in the wings here who's watching you sort of like break free of a couple of illusions too. they're seeing you step into this empowerment, and they're kind of like, I don't know, this is what I just heard. I just heard them being like, damn, you know? It's sort of like a wake-up call for them, I have to say. They might be seeing a situation differently too. They might see things through the same window in the grid as you once they see you shed these like illusions. You might even be breaking ties with a couple of people, or even a couple, okay, that you used to be close with. I think whatever you're doing here, it really is taking somebody by surprise, but it's like how dramatic the action is makes them take notice. It gets them looking at a situation in a different way. Okay, what's on the other side of the split here? And this is the balance for you. Okay, so you've been trying to bring something into that place of manifestation. I brought in the affinity symbol, came in on that super awesome future deck that we opened with. And I know you were digesting something with that Ouroboros energy, but now we have the balance has been achieved. Okay, this is liberation from a karmic cycle. And there's something that's going to come into alignment for you now. And there is something that is about to actually manifest. The path forward is about to manifest for you. That is your key, though. You have to be willing to sort of step into the unknown. That's what initiation's about. That's what initiation's about. But I do feel this action you take, somebody is paying attention to it, and it's taking them by surprise. Gets them looking at a situation differently too. All right. Next, we're going to look at what your empowerment is as you step through that initiatory gateway. What's on the other side there? Okay, so you're diving for light. You're diving deep. You're diving deep within yourself for light. So this is a bit like going on the hermit's journey, okay? You don't quite know where you're going to wind up yet. You know, it's got a little of the vibes of the wanderer. That's from the I Ching. The Wanderer, number 56. Okay. If you want to look it up, look more deeply into that. It's hexagram 56, the Wanderer. It talks about when you're a wanderer and you find yourself in unfamiliar territory, it's very important that you honor the customs of your surroundings, that you honor the way of the land, okay? That it makes your passage easier. Right, so that's something that can help you as you move forward. I do feel like you're moving into unfamiliar territory here, and there's something about understanding that will allow you to be better supported as you move forward. Okay, it will facilitate more helpful energies coming onto your path. So you kind of have to lean into yourself initially as you take the leap, face your fear, right? Break free from what would be a compromising arrangement. And I feel as you do that, it takes you deeper into yourself, right? Because you have nobody to fall back on sort of but yourself in a situation. So as you fall back on yourself, you start kind of pulling everything up by the root that has kept you held down. And as you do this internal weeding, so to speak, it allows you to see what's been hiding there all along. Then you retrieve that light. It's like it gives you the guidance for moving forward from there. You don't feel like you're moving through the dark any longer. It's because you get aligned with your purpose, right? I do feel like there's a lot of you sort of having to recover it from within yourself, though. Places you buried it, right? But see, what's coming through here for you, it's been germinating for a long time. It's like a seed that's been germinating in you for a long time. And it's ready to grow. And it's some pathway. And it's the creativity that wants to be expressed through you. So this is you activating the creator within you. Again, it's like that avatar energy. there's a lot of stability here, and there's something that's rooted very strongly in the ground of your being, and nothing could stop this. Like, this is why you're here. This is you aligning with your purpose. You're meant to actually break ground with this at this time. Okay, so your empowerment is you recognizing the perfection of your life. It's like, it's always like that, right? When we're afraid to take a risk, as soon as we take the risk, we see how brilliant it is that we did that. It's like we take the leap and something shows up to soften the landing, you know? You find the way through. And this has far-reaching effect. There's something that's growing here. And you may have gone through a lot of stuff, you know? I think you've been dealing with a lot of hardship, a lot of challenges. I think it's been rough. I think the growth process has been rough. Okay, we're not going to deny that part of the journey, but it's one of those things where it's like no mud, no lotus. The perfection of your life and what's on the other side of what you waded through will be well worth it. You'll be grateful for that tempering, even though you may not see that right now. Okay, so what is the empowerment on the other side of the initiatory gateway? What is the empowerment of facing the fear, stepping into the unknown, shedding those skins, following the soul's directive, breaking free from compromising contracts, compromising arrangements, challenging this false sense of security and finding the road rising up to meet Gemini? What is this empowerment that comes through for them? Look at that. See, it's the unknown. It's something you fear with the black cat. It looks like nothing but misfortune could greet you along the way. It's not true. This is where fortune meets opportunity. Okay, what is this empowerment that's coming in for Gemini? On the other side of stepping through this initiatory gateway, what is the empowerment that comes through for Gemini? What is the empowerment that comes through for Gemini? Through stepping through this gateway of initiation, taking the risk to have new light flow onto their path. What is the empowerment for Gemini spirit? 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 Ooh, interesting. Okay, interesting the way this is coming through. Okay, so first, you're being advised to take the opportunity right now to restore and replenish, get really grounded, get ready for the journey ahead, because you're going to need a lot of energy for what you're about to come into alignment with. You're going to need to make sure that your body is strong, that you got a bit of endurance. So if you've been needing to integrate and heal from some stuff that you've gone through, you know, mark out some time on your schedule. Figure out a way to maybe create some space, if you can, where you can go on retreat. Even if that's as simple as just doing like a social media retreat, or even if it's just getting away by yourself for a weekend. There's something here that you need to first create for yourself, a place to land where you can integrate all that's closed in your life. This is essential, just to find your inner equilibrium and get yourself to a strong place where you'll be ready for the next step. Because what's coming into alignment for you is going to really require you to be present and to put forth a lot of energy, but it'll be worth it, all right? Because there's some brilliant idea that is going to come in here for you. And once it does, it's like your brain's going to be working overtime. The inspiration's just going to keep flooding in. And I feel like this is something that comes in. It almost feels like it comes in at the 11th hour. It feels a bit like it's saving your ass, I have to say. And all of a sudden you feel like, I know exactly what I need to do. This is what I'm supposed to do. And as you align with this, it's like everything that you've been missing in your day-to-day reality, like the practical stuff that you feel like you don't have that facilitates the opening of the new direction, it shows up. But first, the activation of this, all right? This activation, though, can't come in when you're drained, when you're tired, when your nervous system's been through a lot. I also feel like there's a bit of a test that you need to pass first. And I say this because we did have the winter energy come in. So there's something you're integrating here, all right, through the winter. Your empowerment comes through resting, integrating your experiences, pouring into yourself, giving yourself a little time to retreat, maybe pulling back socially a little bit, giving yourself more alone time. It's got hermit energy, I have to say. Some of you could be dealing with a Virgo here, but it's in this space that the connection points are made and the golden idea comes through, the illumination comes in. There's nothing normal about this, okay? Everything's coming through as it's not about you being reasonable or taking the safe option. It's quite the opposite. In fact, a lot of people will not understand what you're doing, but whatever it is, it's lighting you up within. And that's what you need to pay attention to, because despite how others may tell you you're making a mistake or you're being crazy or whatever this is, you know that it's gold, and it is. This is the result of you passing some important tests here, okay? It may have to do with the garden path. I have to tell you, it may have to do with the temptation. And I am going to take the top card here from the Owl Tarot because these landed on top of that deck. And whenever I have that happen, I bring this in. But see, what came in with this is the need to rest is that, your future is unknown to you right now. And it's very dependent. How things turn out is dependent on your ability to avoid succumbing to a particular temptation. And it is something that could be tremendously seductive. It could lure you in. This is something that could have been illuminated for you with the harvest moon that just came in Pisces on the 17th of September. You need to exercise some emotional intelligence in this situation, because something may seem like I was saying, it's gratifying in the moment. It's everything you ever wanted served up to you on a silver platter. Like, here you go. This is what you need. Here you go. All you have to do is sign on the dotted line. But whatever this is will drain the life out of you. So there's a need for you to be very wise about the choices you make at this time. And it requires that you pass a particular test. That's what's coming in. I feel that's part of you gaining this key. You're having to face a temptation. And maybe that's the fear. Like, the fear is letting go of this opportunity to have the illusion of everything you ever wanted, right? But it's in turning it down because you know it's not in alignment with your integrity that actually brings you the reward you see. So it's sort of like, I got like Norn energy. Like, the Norns are like, well, here you go. Here's the fate. What are you going to do with it? And your future's unknown because it's dependent on what choice you make here. Let me see what this might have to do with, because it did land on this top card here. Oh, might have something to do with King of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And we do have that iguana there. So this energy, when we're looking at lizard medicine, it deals a lot with dream time. There's something about separating what's real, what's fantasy. And I see there's like a field of dreams on the other side here. So it's almost like this is like, I'm getting like this is a gatekeeper kind of energy. Are you going to be able to pass? It's like a test. It's like a challenge. It's like a spiritual challenge that's being presented to you. Very interesting. Very interesting. But if you pass, okay, look at what gets activated in you. You strike gold. I got that, okay? Comes in at the 11th hour, but you're going to need to really prepare for this. You need to rest up. And that's also that, Jupiter in Gemini energy. Jupiter rules over Sagittarius, so I can see that energy coming through in that way. Give it a little time, okay? And there's something you're going to be sorting out here through the winter, because this says the sacredness of pausing. There's some kind of, it feels like a little bit of journeying work, I have to tell you, that you're doing here. You're sort of like journeying to the underworld to retrieve your powers, to retrieve your answers, things that are like internal riddles, things you haven't been able to figure out or solve. So you might even be doing some spiritual journeying if you're working with I just heard medicine men. Okay. I don't know. Maybe some of you are doing some journeying work. You could be. Okay. It's possible. There might be something that's illuminated to you with that. Some kind of cleansing that comes through that finally gets that garden growing, I have to say. Okay. You might be doing some spiritual cleansing work. You might actually be working with somebody on this level. Okay. Looks good if you are. I do see there's some kind of fulfillment coming in here with that 10 of water that came in. It's like the rains will fall and they'll cleanse everything away and they'll make new things grow quite beautifully, especially you. Okay, what is the magic that weaves through Gemini's life as a result of them stepping into their empowerment? What is the magic that will weave through Gemini's life as a result of them stepping into their empowerment? What magic will weave through Gemini's life as a result of them stepping into their empowerment? I like this. Fire family. So you're jumping right out of the frying pan into the fire. You're ready to face that fire test of truth. You could be dealing with a fire sign energy here. I have to say it's brother fire. So you could be dealing with a masculine fire sign energy here. Maybe you're going through some kind of transformation together. There's some truth coming forward and you're standing in the heat of that, the heat of this truth. Can you withstand this heat? Can you get through it together? Can it become something new on the other side? Can it become an empowerment for both of you? This is interesting energy. It's like whoever this character is, I got strong fire sign placement. Whoever this character is, it's like they're an important catalyst for you on your path. Like you're spiritual catalysts for each other, and there's some major transformation happening here. I do feel like you're burning away through illusion in this situation. You're burning away what's false. You're facing truth. You're facing truth, and there's something that's transformed as a result. Let's see what this is. What is this magic that will weave through Gemini's life as a result? I love it. Look at that. Wow, look at this. Father fire. Look at the sun energy. This is liberation, happiness, and I love it. Look at the sun came out with sunrise. This is victory, man. This is reaching the mountaintop. This is reaching the mountaintop and staring into the face of God. That's what I got. It makes me think of the Mayans. We did talk about journeying a little bit. Some of you may be working with, some different plant medicines. You may be doing some journeying, but it just made me think of this because the Mayans, they used to take shrooms and they would go and they would sit, on the mountaintops. They believed that if you journey in that way, you will stare into the face of God. So there's something here about something miraculous happening. I feel like it's through a connection. It's like a spiritual catalyst connection. It activates a radical transformation. And I feel like there's so much freedom for both of you here. See the birds? Something that once felt like it was a cage becomes this like source of freedom, liberation. And you're rising above a particular challenge and you're getting through the fire. It looks like you're getting through the fire with another, and it's bringing the dawning of a new day in the connection. And where things were very challenging, you let go of fear, and there's this effortless flow with waterfall. Effortless flow. It's just free falling. It's trusting the water. It's trusting the emotions to allow them to flow. It invites in beautiful flow between the two of you too. I think of that flow, and I think of fire. I think of liquid fire. In Ayurveda, when we're doing panchakarma, we want to create that liquid fire quality in the tissues, because that's where the transformational activation is. That's where everything changes. It is the alchemical point that brings about healing. I feel like you're achieving that with another. But I see for you, there's really like the activation of your personal power here, you know, recognizing that you are the one who, you know, greets the sun. You are the one that greets the sun. You are the one that has the strength to, you know, stand tall, face another day. And it's the ability to rise, you know, to rise. You're not on no low elevation here. You're up there with the clouds, you know what I'm saying? It reminds me of this overlooked point at Marin Headlands in the San Francisco Bay Area. You go up there early enough to this one point at Marin Headlands, you get so high that you're above the clouds. And it looks like you're above the clouds. It's actually more like the fog rolling in across the bay, but it does look like that. It looks like you're standing above everything. And you just feel this sense of like there's such freedom up there when you have that perspective. I also feel this is like something that at one point it felt like really overwhelming. It had so much power over you. It's a force that kept you from really stepping into that light. Okay. You're recognizing how little of an effect it has now. And this is like liberation energy, and it's happiness coming in and going with the flow. Beautiful. Beautiful. You might want to work with some mountain medicine. Mountain medicine, also greeting the sunrise. Like those are powerful times for you that can awaken your magic. It can align you with your empowerment. So you might want to do stuff like hikes, not just any hike though, where you take a challenge that you're trying to overcome in your life and you take it on a hike. And it's sort of a ritual of sorts, you know, only you are the activating force. You are the wand. You're out there, you're hiking, and the mountain becomes a symbol of the challenge you're trying to overcome in your life. By the time you get to the top, you know, you just let it go. You let all of it go. You'd be surprised how when you work in harmony with nature like that, instead of needing to do all these fancy rituals with all these props, when you really merge your energy, microcosm with macrocosm, how fast it affects change in your life. There's something about you connecting with solar energy more will awaken that activating force in you. Especially sunrise, it's a potent time for you for manifestation. I think you'll see the transformation take root there. Things will start to flow in your life a lot easier. And it makes me think of, going back to Ayurveda, it makes me think of Agni. Lord Agni, who brings his chariot across the sky that is ushering in the sun, you know, this will get your chariot moving you forward a lot easier, right? Cut the deck. We got here. There we go. It comes in again, 10 of water. And there you get filled to the brim to overflowing. And it nurtures the earth, causing everything to grow. Beautiful energy. Got earth sign energy coming in there. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And we did say Virgo came in earlier. Something's growing here. It's coming to bloom. And you're finding the flow. And I think you'll like where it's carrying you.